ठीक अम्मा मत देखो। उसके बाद थोड़ा सा छेड़ना मुझे भी अच्छा लगता है। मैंने कहा कि आपकी इजाजत है कि मैं कहूं कि जरूर देखो। बोले ये तो मैंने नहीं कहा। मैंने कहा कि देखने पर आपको आपत्ति है, यदि मैं कहूं कि ना देखो, यदि मैं कहता हूं कि देखो तब आपत्ति है, तो मैं क्या करूं? तो बोले चुप तो रह सकते हैं। हमने कहा कि तुम सीधे एसके खन्ना को इमिटेट कर रही हो। एसके खन्ना थे चेयरमैन एआईसीटी। बहुत से लोग यहां से जानते होंगे एसके खन्ना को। 2 साल तक उनके दरबार में मेरा प्रवेश नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि लोगों ने उनको सिखा रखा था कि गौतम साहब को किसी कमेटी का चेयरमैन मत रखिएगा, वो किसी के सुनते नहीं। लेकिन कुछ एआईसीटी में ऐसा हो गया कि दूसरा कोई उनको मिला ही नहीं चेयरमैन होने को, तो हमको उन्होंने बना दिया। तो मैं उनको पसंद भी बहुत आ गया। उसके बाद से 2 साल तक लगातार हमको अपने साथ ही रखते थे हर पेज पर। उनको किसी काम से बैंगलोर जाना था। बोले हमसे कि विनायशील चलोगे बैंगलोर? मैंने कहा जरूर चलूंगा। मैं आज से 16-17 साल हुआ, जो पहले की बात कह रहा हूँ।
Almost 20 years.
He was the chairman, बिजनेस क्लास में थे, मैं इकोनॉमी में था। उन्होंने कहा कि बिजनेस क्लास में चलोगे? हमने कहा कि आप बुला लीजिएगा तो चलेंगे। तो मेरे पास टिकट नहीं। तो बोले यही तो चेयरमैन एआईसीटी होते तो तुमको मालूम होता। उन्होंने पायलट से कहा कि my aide is traveling in the economy and I need to consult him for something which I have to do on arrival. There is my seat next to me vacant. Can he come and sit with me? पायलट ने कहा तो मैं बिजनेस क्लास में चला गया। कोई काम की बात उनको नहीं करनी थी। लगे हमको राय देने। हमसे बोले कि विनायशील तुम आदमी बहुत कुत्ता। थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। बोले तुम बहुत काम के आदमी। हमने कहा कि सर आगे बढ़िए, कुछ और आने को है। तो बोले हाँ, लेकिन एक दोष है तुम्हें। मैं जानता था कि कुछ दोष वो निकालेंगे। जब बोले हमसे कि तुम्हारा सबसे बड़ा दोष है कि तुम गधा को गधा कहते। तो हमने कहा कि सर मैं क्या कहूं, गधा को घोड़ा कहूं? बोले नहीं, चुप तो रह सकते हो। Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, my third takeaway is invest in yourself. Remember, it's your life, you are responsible for it, and you will pay for wherever you spend your time. Let's take it forward. The emerging economies of the world have greater role in changing world economic and political scenario. This greater role carries with it an additional challenge and therefore requires careful planning, and I want to focus your attention on that. The population growth in emerging countries is shifting the balance of global GDP to emerging countries. This shift has socio-economic implications both in terms of workforce and consumer distribution. Therefore, the demand and supply of talent and talent management is a critical part of overall manpower planning in the coming era, and this is the key sentence I want to draw your attention to. You are clearly not in a position to do the national manpower planning. That should have happened elsewhere. It's not happening. But you should be clear at least on which way your career is going to be planned. Don't plan for a job, plan for a career. And understand the dominant characteristics of that career. Are they going to be engineering based? Are they going to be soft skills based? Are they going to be operational? And I could give you a whole scenario. If you do that, training will help knowledge workers to develop a network both internally and externally for knowledge creation, dissemination and utilization. If you are doing courses like the which you are doing in JP University of Engineering and Technology, you are clearly a knowledge worker. My appeal to you and the fourth takeaway is select your segment of skill formation for career. Remember, employability. Because employability is an undifferentiated concept. Let me explain that. There are people in this audience from 16 to 66. Each one's employability is separate. Each one's career requirement is separate. In fact, your own employability will vary from when you are 22 to 42 to 52 to 62. I have undergone another employability change only 2 months ago when I resigned from IIT to move over to KPMG, and believe me, there is nothing common in between the two. And ladies and gentlemen, if it is any forecast, I will remain employable till the day I breathe my last. employable not when you want the job, but when somebody needs the skills you possess. Just for that. You are employable not when you need a job, but you are employable when somebody who needs the skills you possess. That's employability. Because in the era of employment, there will be shifting trends. In 1988, I was asked to consult for ITI. When the entire telecom industry switched over from Stoddard to ESS2, 200 engineers were there in ITI. And my responsibility was to carry out a redeployment plan for them in terms of training and development, put simply skill augmentation so that they could still be used and there would be no layoff when the technology changed. The rest is history. You notice I am annotating my remarks with suitable illustrations from everyday world, from the industry, from my consulting, so that the doubting Thomases amongst you will be able to see that my remarks are based on some understanding or some experience that I have in some knowledge which I practice. So emerging trends in employability are a subset of the point you are at your life cycle. Or a factor of the changes which have taken place in the employment market. And are a factor of what skills you can offer, and if the compensation is equivalent to your life aspirations. Now, if you can get that formulation, you have got the fourth takeaway, as I was saying. I would like to draw this set of remarks to a conclusion, therefore I enter my last few minutes of remarks. Listing of resources has changed over the years. Telecommunication scene even 3 decades ago could not have seen spectrum as a resource. 5 decades ago, no one would have visualized that water would be sold, and still less would there have been an industry dealing with pollution. One is now faced with concerns of power management, crumbling infrastructure, inadequate storage capacity, and depletion of aquifers. In fact, let me tell you a recent interest which I have developed. In certain circles, I am seen as the archpriest of what is called longitudinal thinking. And recently I have done 2 pieces on conventional water resources management in the state of Mewar, and how development processes destroyed the water resources system of Mewar to cause the kind of shortages which take place in Udaipur, because they were blocking the canals from the lakes to build real estates. If this is development, will somebody please help me to understand what is destruction? Therefore, my fifth takeaway in employability: the latest, the biggest, and the best is not necessarily the way forward. In many areas, the past precedences were far more wise than we have been. This is anathema to Cornell, Yale, Princeton, you name it. And I can say these things because I have an O-level certificate examination from Cambridge University as a school leaving examination. The rest you heard as a part of my biodata. Yes, I have taught in St. Stephen's College. I have taught in Cambridge University. I have taught in Harvard. Therefore, no one can pull that on me. But खट्टे अंगूर कौन खाए? अरे तू हार्वर्ड से आया है तो मैं भी आया हूं, तुम मुंह टेढ़ी करके अंग्रेजी बोल सकता है तो मैं भी बोल सकता हूं, और अच्छा सूट तुझको है तो मैंने भी खरीद करके 2-3 अच्छे सूट रखे, एक तो पहनकर ही आपके सामने खड़ा हूं। This is a strange country. Appearances are taken more seriously than reality. क्योंकि किसी को सोचने का वक्त ही नहीं है। ये मुल्क तो ऐसा है जिसमें साधु सन्यासी भी वो अपने नाम के नाम आगे श्री 108 लिखते हैं, और उससे बड़े साधु हो जाए तो श्री 1008 लिखते हैं। और यदि आप भ्रम में हैं कि ये केवल साधु सन्यासियों की, जिनको गाली देना आजकल बड़ा फैशनेबल हो गया है, अरे साधु सन्यासी भी आदम जाति हैं। यहां तो देश के पहले राष्ट्रपति के नाम जो सड़क बनाई गई उसमें लिखा गया डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद रोड। दिल्ली में एक सड़क है डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद रोड। हमें जब उस सड़क को देखता हूं प्राय जाना पड़ता है, क्योंकि मंत्रालय का हेडक्वार्टर्स एमएचआरडी का शास्त्री भवन में है, जो डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद रोड पर है। जब मैं देखता हूं तो मैं सोचता हूं कि राजेंद्र प्रसाद कि एक तो डॉक्टर थी ही नहीं, ऑनरिस कॉजा। ऑनरिस कॉजा मानद होता है, मानद को कोई लिखता नहीं है। अब कोई कह दे कि आप राम तुल्य हैं तो मैं आपके को क्या लिख दूं? श्री राम विनयशील गौतम। Look at what we do. कहिए कि आप क्यों कह रहे हैं सब? भैया मैं अपनी शैली में, जो कि एकमात्र शैली मेरी हो सकती है, मैं अपनी शैली के बारे में दूसरे का नाम कैसे लेकर के बोल दूं? बताने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं कि प्रीफिक्स सफिक्स के बिना हिंदुस्तान में कुछ होता ही नहीं। Which shows, and this is where I'm going to conclude, a similar capacity to develop our own standards. And no country ever became great which couldn't develop its own standards. No country ever became great which did not have its own backbone. And imitation never produced fundamental change in a societal system. Take it or leave it. If you are looking at employability, to sum up, therefore, learn to be disciplined, learn to believe in competency, learn to understand how you have to invest in yourself, learn to look at the trends, and above all, stay a learning person. I strongly suggest you mull over all 5 of these aspects before you come to an evaluative judgment about any 5 of them, because I'll tell you only what has been my theme in my classroom, and I've spent about 3/4 of my time in classroom as a conscious act of choice. मेरी उम्र का मैनेजमेंट का आदमी फुल टाइम टीचर कभी नहीं रहता है। आप लेट 40s अर्ली 50s में अपनी दुकान खोल करके पैसा पीटते हैं, और यदि आप सोचते हैं कि ये मैनेजमेंट टीचर का प्रोफाइल नहीं है तो उठा करके IIMs IITs में मैनेजमेंट लोगों का इतिहास देख लीजिए, सब किसी ने अपनी दुकान खोल ली। मैं ये मानता हूं कि यदि इस देश का भविष्य है, अपनी बात तो कन्विक्शन के साथ, लेकिन विनय के साथ वहां कहने को जहां लोग सुनने को तैयार हैं। आपने सुनने की कृपा की, ये धैर्य दिखाया। I'm open to any clarificatory questions which you have, with the Vice Chancellor's permission. Sir, if I may take a few minutes. Having said things which may have been variously and differently understood by different people, I have an obligation to clarify any concerns which they may have, and I'm not here to defend my position. If you reject it, that's your choice. But yes, if you want me to understand, explain myself better so that you can understand better, please do ask.
Sir, I would like to ask, what are the necessary modifications we need to make in our goals right now? Or is there any need to make
I'm glad you asked, because that's a logical question which arises out of 5 marks. Course revision is a continuing business. It's not a one-time affair. And I can't say that